I always ask someone a question at the end. I'm going to finish with this, Arthur. If you could call up the 20-year-old Arthur and give that young man a bit of advice. I guess you're studying in Paris probably at this point.
No trading advice, of course.
No trading advice, of course. Yeah, nothing like Back to the Future. But if you could, based on, maybe your human growth, what would you tell the 20-year-old if you could call him up and say, this is important, or do this one thing? After everything you learn, what would you tell him?
Take more risk when you're young. I thought I immediately had to get a career, I immediately had to earn money, and the right thing to do was get a career, earn some money, save some money, and then, be an entrepreneur. And I think I should have started that, way early on. I work better as an entrepreneur than I work as an employee. And so I think I should have just jumped this gun way earlier.
Okay.
So that's what I would say is look, if you spend, the first 5 years of your 20s trying to be an entrepreneur and so on and so forth, and then you want to have a career, no one is going to hold it against you that, you spent a few years trying to do something on your own, and it's going to be a much harder decision once you're used to a certain lifestyle, or once you have a certain money, it's very easy to get into a lull. You basically have no assets, no liabilities. You're basically a clean slate. This is a perfect time to do this. It's not necessarily it's not necessarily when you're best at it. I think in general, people who have more experience are better at creating and running successful companies. It's not 20-year-olds are better at running companies than 30-year-old or 40-year-old. Even though they have a bunch of energies, they don't have, I would say, the experience, but they generally have a lot less to lose. And for as an economic calculation, it makes a lot more sense to do it very early on in your career, because you're going to earn less anyway. So because your opportunity cost is much lower.
Yeah.
So that would be the advice.
Take more risk. Yeah. Same for me, actually. I was a little too risk averse, I think, in those younger years, from a business perspective, not from a personal perspective. On that same note, best advice you ever received? Is there something that comes to mind?
Yes.
I don't know, parent, professor, something. What is that?
So when I was at Goldman Sachs, at one point, I wanted to strike a little more on my own. And so, which meant basically working for a prop shop. So
which is a proprietary trading shop, one with capital, a little more leeway.
It's almost like being an entrepreneur. It's like if you want to be an entrepreneur as a trader, it's kind of an incubator for trader entrepreneurs. It's a model that exists in finance.
Right. Less rules, more upside.
Yeah. It makes sense, because if you try to really be on your own, you're going to have to do your own compliance filing and risk management and and exchange access and so on and so forth. That's not where you want to be. So prop shop is a great position if you want to run a portfolio. So I was looking at different prop shops and thinking through different options. And I talked to one of those, and he was he basically, I don't know how it's phrased, but he says don't sell yourself short. Bet on yourself. So that was good advice.
So go for it, is what he was saying? Or be sure of yourself that you could
No, go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it,
Right.
It's